Good evening, DFS Army and fellow DFS enthusiasts. Happy Hump Day. Grab an adult beverage or two and let's talk a little bit of NBA. Cash games, DraftKings, Fanduel. Answer any questions you have. First, let me get through a little housekeeping though. If you're not a DFS Army member, please click on the website panel below, which will take you over to dfsarmy.com, and you can enter my promo code CashKeg, which will save you 10% off your membership. Doing so, you'll get access to my NBA cheat sheet, which I've already updated tonight. It has my top 10 Yahoo value plays under $20, the top 10 Yahoo studs, $20 or more, my Fanduel player pool with core cash and GBP designation for each player, DraftKings Core 4, and my DraftKings player pool with suggestion player exposures for if you're doing a mass multi-entry. But with that, you just won't only get that. With DFS Army, you get multiple VIP articles, the Domination Station, which is one of the best optimizers in the industry, and our VIP chat where we talk shop all day long and try to teach you guys to be better DFS players. And unlike most DFS sites, you don't pay per sport. You get everything. You get NFL, NBA, MLB, golf, which is starting this weekend again, college basketball, NASCAR, just everything. So if you are not a member, please, again, click on that website panel below or go to dfsarmy.com and let's help you win some money. So, yeah, let's dig into this slate a little bit. I'll start out with DraftKings, and then we get through that a little bit. Maybe we'll talk a little Fanduel. I think tonight it's going to start with center. We had some news that we'll talk about a little bit later with Jimmy Butler sitting, and what does that do for Embiid and Cat? Because I think, there's a lot of studs to pay up for. But you're going to want to start your cash games with Hernan Gomez. He's just too cheap for the role he's going to be playing. With Cody Zeller on the bench, Lamb out, he's got like a 24% usage, around a 1.3 fantasy points a minute. You're just gonna want to lock him in, and he's gonna be 30, 40, 50% owned, and tonight in most of your contests. So I would just eat that chalk. I think it's a good chalk. Let's see here. Let me pull this over a little bit and get to some of these questions. All right. I think after Hernan Gomez, we still have a few more pieces of value that for cash games I think you just want to eat. So with John Wall being out, they've priced up Thomas Satoransky quite a bit, but he's still too cheap on DraftKings. He's 4,600. He's going to be seeing the minutes. Otto Porter's back, but I think he's got a 20-minute limit on the court today. So Beal's still going to get all the usage. But for 4,600 for a guy that's going to play 30 to 35 minutes, that's a good chalk as well. On FanDuel, it's a little bit different of a discussion because he's 6,200. And there's a lot of guys around that range that you can run for cash. And then there's another point guard over there with Rozier that is just a stone lock at his price over on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, those are the two pieces of value that I would start with. There's other pieces. That's half my core. You can see the other half of the core if you sign up for DFS Army. But those are the pieces you start with. And then I think you're going to want to play probably three studs tonight because there's so much value with Charlotte. Because we have Monk. We have Graham. we got these guys that are extremely cheap at the guards that you can fit in. I'm not sure if I like Graham as much as I like Monk. Graham's 3,400. Monk's 3,600. I'm assuming they leave Monk on the bench so he can run that second unit. And I like him more when he's on that second unit and he's not fighting for that usage with Kemba. So if we just slide him in here and just kind of see what we have left. So you got 7,600 left. But with the big news of Jimmy Butler just getting ruled out maybe 20 minutes ago. Is that what it was? Yeah, then that's where Embiid comes more in play with me today than he was earlier. Earlier, I was looking at guys like Bradley Beal, Paul George, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns. Those were the four I was trying to decide who do I want to play in cash, because it really determines the rest of your lineup. And I think we have enough value. You can play three of those guys in cash. But now with Butler out, and when Butler's off the court, Embiid's seeing almost a 40% usage rate with a 1.7 fantasy points a minute, and that's really hard to pass up. But he's also 1,000 more than Cat, and Cat's been just, there's no Covington on the court today. There's no Teague. There's no Rose. And he's sitting himself at a 41% usage with a 1.77, so almost identical to Embiid. So that's, I think, a decision. If I was going to run in utility, it's either going to be Embiid or Cat. Like always, like I always try to preach, if you're running cash games on DraftKings, always try to run two centers. It's just safer. I've always done it that way, and I know a lot of other people do that as well. But I'm right now, I'm leaning Cat, but man, Embiid should tear up Ayton. Ayton's just absolute garbage. So if we slide, let's slide Embiid in here, and we still got 6,800 for your average salary. And this is where, like I said, if you throw Embiid in there, you're not going to be playing AD just because it'll eat up way too much of your salary. So then you're looking at, do you go Beal or do you go PG-13? I think those are great choices tonight. Both see great use. I would say Beals has the usage with those guys off the court. Paul George is more of a late night hammer, going back to his hometown. That whole narrative with Los Angeles Lakers and the old signing and all that. So, I would lean. Or like I said, you could play them both here, and if you plug both of them in that lineup, because you ain't gonna be able to fit AD in. It leaves you 4,800 for two spots, which you can make work. And so if you went Embiid over Cat, it still gives you a good amount of salary at power forward and forward, which there's some decent plays. So that's one way to go. Another cheap piece tonight is DeMarre Carroll. He's only 4K on DraftKings. With Crab out and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson out, he's been getting good run. And he's going to have to. They're going to have to play big to play against the Pelicans. And AD is active. So, but yeah, 35, 31 minutes the last two games. He's putting up good points. He's going to be popular. He's going to be another guy that's probably 40 to 50% owned. So he's probably a guy you want to look at in cash. Let's see. Let's go answer some questions. 5,500 cheap guard on DK, Rozier, Schroeder, Hart, Peyton, Reddick, Sexton, Kyle Anderson. I would say Rozier out of that bunch. Andrew C. Either Rozier, and this Reddick gets a bump, but Rozier is going to be running point, and so I prefer him out of that bunch. Let's check. See who else is in play. Another guy that could be more GPP, and his price is up a little bit. But I like running him in GPPs tonight is Justice Winslow. Dwayne Wade is out, and even though it looks like Deion Waiters is active, but I can't see him just coming back doing much. So it's basically just Winslow and Johnson to run that point. And again, point guards against Cleveland, man, they just torch them. I think he put up like 50 against them like 2 games ago or something. Yeah, 52 in 34 minutes against Cleveland 2 games ago. Not saying he's going to duplicate that, but at 6,900, if you're looking for a piece like that, he's a good fit. There's a question. Thoughts on Wendell? Let me scroll up here. Kogi or Sarge? Kogi is starting. He's going against Smart, and he doesn't seem to do much. Yeah, he's one of those pieces. Like in cash, I'd play him. I think he's 3,700. And with those, with those guys out, he's gonna see some minutes. I'm guessing he'll see 30, 35 minutes, but he doesn't do a whole lot with them. I don't, like, if he's your last piece in cash, but I don't think he has the upside to win you a GPP tonight at that range when you have some other plays like, it's like Carroll's 300 more, and his range of outcomes are to get, 40 DK points are a lot more than a Kogi's. So I prefer that. Thoughts on Wendell Carter and Aaron Gordon? I like that correlation. If you're going GPPs, I said Vooch, he's going to play, but I like going, if you're going to play that game and maybe he's not feeling the best. Biggs against Chicago has been great, and Wendell Carter, he's been playing well, so I like that in GPP. Who do you prefer over Monk? That's a little more expensive on DK. So what's Monk's? Monk's 36. And what's a little more expensive? You got a couple bills to spend, couple hundred, 500,000. Looking for a guard. Could go TJ McConnell right there, or Magruder. What did Magruder do? Yeah, he put up 24 against Philly last time. He's probably going to see similar, minutes. So I don't mind Magruder. He'd probably be low owned around that because I think a lot of people will be playing these Charlotte guards. So Magruder or McConnell. I mean, he's been consistent. Be one of those guys. Left or right Twix? Always right hand, man. Always a right Twix, man. Dominant hand. Got to go right. If you had to pick one, Davis, PG, Vooch, or Embiid, Beal, Cat, I would pick. See, that's what I mean. But I would pick the second one. You got two guys there. All three of those guys. What is Beal's usage with? Yeah, Beal's usage is going to be around 30-40%. And then if you got, with that build, I'm assuming, you're not going to have Hernan Gomez. So it'll be a bit different because he's going to be so popular. And I don't mind that, especially in GPPs. If you go Embiid, Beal, Cat, all those guys have a chance to hit 60 tonight. So, there's nothing wrong with the first one. They have the same thing. So I run 2 lineups, but I prefer the second one. Up to 4,500. Man, you gave me a bunch of dudes, man. don't know, I gave you some guys around that. Like I said, some pivots. I don't really like guys up around that range. Like I said, Carroll, and then some of those lower guys I mentioned. Maybe Smart, maybe Sarich, but not a ton I love. Thoughts on balanced lineup to win GPP since everyone's going to be stars and scrubs? I don't think so tonight. I really don't. I don't think it's one of those nights to get cute to try to go balanced. Now, does that mean don't like maybe only pay up for one stud like Embiid and then go everyone in the 7 to 8K range and some value? There's nothing wrong with that. But to play everyone in the 5 to 7K range and like that, I don't think you're going to win a GPP that way. Not tonight on a big slate. On the bigger the slate tends to gear more towards stars and scrubs, and the smaller the slate, I tend to be more balanced because it's harder to find those good value plays, and we just have too many of them. You think jamming in 3 studs on Yahoo a valuable build? ADPG cap. I think you can. I said there's so many good $10 Yahoo plays today that I think you can easily get there. So I don't mind that. Bryant a cash lock on DK. I don't want to say a cash lock, but he's going to be popular. He's priced up a little bit, 4,700, with no Morris. He's still going to. It's going to be him and Mahinmi to get all the minutes. So, and they, it's Atlanta, so they've been tearing him up. So yeah, I currently have him in my cash build. He's going to continue to get 30 minutes at 4,700. He's a good play. Let's see if we got any questions in here. Maybe I'll look at Fanduel a little bit and we'll talk about a build there. If you got any more questions, keep hitting me up. Let's pull up Fanduel and give it a look. So Terry Rozier, that's a guy. Just lock in today. I'm not playing 150 lineups today. It's hard for me to do and then come on here. So, but out of all the lines I'm playing, he's going to be in every one of them. He's just a lock button. So I'm not getting cute with that one at 4,300 with what he's going to be doing. It's just, yeah, it's too easy to play. The issue here with small forward is just horrendous on FanDuel today. And there's not a ton of plays I like. Like I said, I still like Winslow. I like going there. I don't mind TJ Warren now that Butler's out. But he's, but other than that, it's PG-13 and good luck. I mean, all these guys are priced. Carroll 5,100. I don't mind that, but I tend to lean throwing PG-13 in here as your late night hammer. But there's so many good plays here, and you're going to have to find some value in other places. And with the drop score, it's, I don't consider Terry Rozier a drop score because I don't think, I think he's going to put up, 25, 30 fantasy points today. So I don't really consider him a drop score. So some of the drop scores that are like on here is, Sarich is 3,700 against Boston. with some of these guys being out. Could he completely bust? Sure. But at 3,700, it opens some things up to allow you to make that hard decision if, put a Beal, pay up at center. Now, a center here, Embiid, Cat, and then we got old Hernan Gomez down here at 5,400. And I think that's the decision you make. And then, Thomas Bryant, to me, is too expensive. I'd much rather play Hernan Gomez down here on Fanduel than Thomas Bryant. 6'6" is too much for him. Let's go back and read some questions. Thoughts on Jeremy Lin on Fanduel? Jeremy Lin has good upside. 4,600, yeah. I mean, point guard's a spend down position for me on Fanduel when I'm building cash games. I don't want to spend up to Westbrook or Simmons or Walker. All great GPP plays, but that won't be where I'll spend my money. Yeah, Lin for GPP. Yeah, that works. Like I said, when I was talking about earlier about Satoransky on FanDuel, this is the group right here that all they're going to get a lot of run, but there's not a whole lot of meat left on the bone. They make you really think here. It was smart by FanDuel with Satoransky, Tyus Jones, and Ball. And so in cash, you can go any one of these guys. I think Dinwiddie's a fantastic GPP play, just a little bit more. He'll get overlooked because I think of this range here. So I would look at this range in cash, and then I don't think people are going to spend up the point guard in GPPs. And again, Devontae Graham I think is probably going to be popular. Lonzo, yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of Lonzo Ball and Tyus Jones for cash in that range right there. And then people pay up, they're going to go Westbrook. Yeah, I know Graham is popping a bunch, and that's just with those injuries with Lamb and he's going to see, on FanDuel, I don't mind him because he could be another drop score here if you like the rest of your lineup. He's 3,900. He's going to see probably 25 minutes. He's done real well. You plug him in. Still got Cat, or you got basically, like you said, I'm not really considering him a drop score, but you'd have two drop scores here, with Graham probably having the better avenue to get to a 6x, 5x. So still leaves you 7,600. You can build around that real well. Like I said, Beal's pretty expensive here at 10K. It's tough because it really again doesn't go dictate your cash game build is at center, and at center, are you going to another guy at shooting guard that's good value. Since Jimmy's out, is Korkmaz, man. 6'7", 3,600. He's risky, but he's a good drop score candidate when he gets minutes. He's had a couple good games here. It's against Phoenix. You throw him in there, now you're looking 8,600. You can really pay up for some studs. You might not even need Sarge if you want to go that way, or maybe you do, and then you want to run a Beal and one of the other guys. And it's like you said, you're not going to be able to fit, I don't think, in one of these builds. If you do Embiid and AD, you got 5,400 left, and you got three studs in your lineup. But having Sarge, Korkmaz, Graham, and Rozier, You can only drop one of them, so. Thoughts on Dedmon and Collins together? I think it's fine. The only big that's really out of play for me for Atlanta is Lynn with Dedmon coming back. He just won't get the minutes and do anything with him. So, see Monk or Davis or Smart and Embiid, cash on DK. I'd probably go Monk and Davis. But man, that's close. Favorite Yahoo play is probably still the $10 Hernan Gomez. He's just clicking over there. Like, there's so many pieces. Like I said, if you go to DFS Army, you can see my list of my 20 favorite Yahoo plays. They're on there, and I ranked them. So, what else we got here? Oh, Jason Tatum might be sneaky at power forward today. You could get a few more shots with Irving out. Don't mind him. I think if people are going to pay up in cash for power forward, you're probably going to look a lot of AD and Kuzma at those prices. But I see, yeah, I don't mind Tatum or Wendell Carter Jr. there. Marcus Morris is great. I like him today. Crooks, he's okay. It's weird seeing him at power forward. I think they had him at shooting guard there for a while. Carroll, yeah. Carroll on Yahoo, another $10 special on Yahoo, man. I said there's so many $10 plays on Yahoo. You can easily do stars and scrubs. Yeah, thoughts on Kimba for GPP? I love Kimba for GPPs because I don't think people are going to go to him. I think they're going to go to the Beals and the PG-13s, and they're not going to be able to afford him. But with those other guys out, he can easily hit 60 just as the other guys can. So, can I get your thoughts on Monk tonight? Like I said, has that starting lineup came out at all for Charlotte? I'm hoping that Graham starts and Monk comes off the bench, because then I like Monk more. I want the guy that's going to be the second unit usage, and I think that's going to be Monk. I don't think that's going to be Graham. So like I said, I like Monk more than I like Graham tonight. Kenneth Freed on Fanduel. 3,500. It's a drop score, that's for sure. If he's going to see minutes, put up 35 and 27 just last game. Yeah, if he's going to see 27 minutes at 3,500, you bet y'all like you some Fareed. Is he going to see that many minutes? I mean, he could see 10, 15. Like, I wouldn't play him in cash unless, like I said, he is your drop score in cash. Then he's fine. But I would stick more to GPPs with him. I only have 4,100 utility. I don't have anything in price point other than Monk. Any recommendations? I'm assuming you have Carroll already. Call me Juicy. Do you have them already? Yeah, so 4,100 on DraftKings. Let's go back here and let's check utility. So that's Carroll. Man, that's rough. Let me look here. Utility. So I'm assuming you got Hernan Gomez and Carroll. You're still looking for someone in that price point. Man, that is tough. I mean, Jonathan Isaac's going to see probably 30 minutes. He just doesn't do a whole lot with his minutes. Against Chicago, he could do something. But you can't play him in cash. I mean, he's just a GPP play. That's a tough price point. How many minutes will Jaylen Brown get? Jaylen Brown, yeah. He will probably get, I don't know, 27, 29 minutes, maybe stretch it to 30. He's not a bad play at all. I like him. Should get him what? Sub 7-8%. You probably get him around 4 or 5% ownership on this slate. How about Kuzma and Hart? Yeah, I like Kuzma. I like Kuzma a lot on this slate. Hart's been shooting well. I don't mind Hart. Let's see Hart on DK. He didn't pop for me out. 5,300. Yeah, he'll be at this price point, 5,300 on DraftKings. Rozier's going to have more of the ownership at the same price, so he'd be a good pivot off Rozier, I think. Everybody likes the shiny new toy. What other questions you guys got? I think Jonathan Simmons is another guy that is 8,900 on DraftKings, and I don't mind him because you can slide him in as small forward. But if you're going to pay up at point guard with Butler out against Phoenix, I don't mind him at 9,500. I still think for cash, this is probably your optimal build with Rozier and Graham just going cheap, or Rozier and Ball or that price range. But Simmons is definitely in play now. Monk and I think they should see somewhere similar. Monk, I don't know. If Graham starts, he'll probably see a few more minutes, maybe 24 to 26, and maybe Monk sees 20 to 22. But if Monk gets hot and, the usage he just could be more efficient in his time than Graham could. So if the minutes are only 3 to 4 minutes apart, I don't really worry about that too much. Any sneaky game stacks you like? Sneaky game stacks? Well, I think popular ones are probably going to be the Pelicans in Brooklyn. I think a lot of people are going to be on Washington, but I don't know how many people will run it back with Atlanta, so I like that as a game stack. They've been keeping it pretty close with a lot of teams lately, so I don't mind that. And then, I don't know, in Phoenix, maybe Philly, Phoenix, maybe. I think OKC and the Lakers are going to be popular. So, maybe Atlanta, Washington. Was looking at Minnesota, Boston. Yeah, I mean the pieces are going to be pretty easy to pinpoint for Minnesota, and maybe with Irving out, that Boston, they keep it close, but they can spread things out. It's tough to pinpoint Boston and where that usage is going to go. So if you run a bunch of lines, I don't mind game stacking that. What about Cat? Yeah, I love Cat tonight. Like I said, I think your big decision in cash games is going to be Cat or Embiid. And I would build different lineups and kind of compare them and look at what you really like. Like I said, if we'd taken this and we throw in Carroll small forward, we got 7,800 left here to throw in a few other pieces. So if we went and beat here, go Paul George, still got 7,100 left. So even if you wanted to throw Embiid and then put Beal, you got 5,600. So you can definitely make it work with one of them. But I don't think you can play. I don't think you can play an Embiid and AD and another stud. It just eats up too much salary. So I think you got to make that choice of Embiid or Cat, and then run it with maybe George, Paul George and Beal. But that's going to be a crucial decision you make tonight in cash games. Thoughts on playing KCP? And Hart. KCP? Yeah, I think he went kind of nuclear last game, didn't he? Yeah, 37 DK. He got hot. Now he's 21 shots. I don't think you're going to see that all the time. I think they're could see some people that are going to point chase that. I would rather just go back to Hart than KCP. He's not really in play for me on a big slate like this. 9 games. I wouldn't go him. I think, now if you're game stacking that last game and he's a piece and he fits in, sure. But on a slate this big, I wouldn't get that sneaky. What do we got? Just over 20 minutes till lock. Got any other news here? Let's look here. DJ Augustin remains on track to play. So Kogie's going to start for Covington, which we expected. So, like I said, Kogie's more of a DraftKings play. And I said he's more cash for me. I just don't see a bunch of upside. But I think he's a fine cash play at that price. Like I said, on Fanduel as well, I think he's close to min salary over here too. Yeah, 3,900. So he's a fine cash play there as well. Embiid or Collins or Embiid or Cat? I think it's Embiid and Cat. But it really depends on the rest of your lineup. But I mean, Embiid and Cat, both those guys could go for stinking 70 tonight. So, but when you do that, you're fading Hernan Gomez, which is one of the better value pieces on tonight's slate. But if you're going GPPs, I tend to, when I build lineups, I would rather fade a chalky expensive guy than a chalky value play. It's just they tend to, hit value more often. And if you have a chalky Embiid or a chalky Cat or somebody that something happens, whatever, and they don't get there, you're going to struggle. But if you get a chalky Hernan Gomez and he only puts up, 15 to 18 DK points, he's not going to kill you. But in Embiid, that's 10K. You need 60 out of him, and if he only puts up 40, you're struggling. So. I've never left for my lineup completed. Should find a more expensive option over Monk or Bryant. T-Chief, I don't know. It really depends on the rest of your lineup. I would guess maybe a bump off of Monk out of the two. If you're talking about cash build, I'd rather have Bryant over Monk just because of the minutes that he's going to play in against Atlanta's front court. So Um, but there's not a whole lot to love in that price range to go up from him. But I wouldn't leave that much on the table. 900 on a 9-game slate. I would look at moving some pieces around. Let's look. Let's look if we slide and beat in here. There we go, Kogi. There are just so many stinking plays. So you want another drop score there. Still got 7,800 you can fiddle around with, so it's going to be a fun night. Like, you can do so much on both sides with the value I have, and that's why I think I wouldn't play a balanced lineup tonight. Smarter Monk. Man, I have so much love for Monk tonight, but Smart's going to see more minutes, so I would probably look at playing Smart, just because he's going to see, probably 30, 32 minutes. More of a cash game play. It doesn't have huge upside, but I think he's 4,300. I think, yeah, 4,300. I can see him getting a 6x, which is what you're looking for. I mean, he hasn't really gotten here, but it's got an okay floor. It's not an exciting play, but I don't mind him. You locking in Hernan Gomez on DK. Cat Country. I do have it right now, and I don't probably have time to go back and change it. But if I did, I would probably maybe take a few of those lineups and go Cat and Embiid. So maybe I'd have 80% Hernan Gomez at DraftKings on DraftKings, and then maybe have a few Cat and Embiid lineups. I wish I could play them all three. That's where a site like Fantasy Draft is great, because you can play anyone who you want to, and so it's kind of fun to do. But yeah, for the most part, I'll have a ton of Hernan Gomez. What is Korkmaz on DraftKings now that Butler's out? I don't think I looked at him too much here. He's 3,400. Whew. Yeah. I don't know if I'd run Korkmaz in cash, though. But in GPPs, I mean, he allows you to do a bunch at that price at 3,400. So I really have no problem if you want to run Korkmaz in GPPs. No, Cat Country. Hernan Gomez is not a bad play at all, man. I said he's one of the best value pieces on the slate. It's just, I do want a few lineups, I think, where I would put in Cat and Embiid and try to build lineups around that. And when you do that, you're probably going to be a bit different. No, I would not pivot down to Tatum off Paul George on DK and cash. I would not do that. That's getting way too cute. Definitely would not do that. Well, you say Hernan Gomez's minutes are not safe. You're right. I mean, he could only play 20 to 24 minutes. He's just extremely efficient when he does have those minutes. So like I said, if you want to fade him in GPPs, I completely get it, and I don't mind doing the double stack big boys. But at 3,800, if he does get a little extended run, and he puts up a 40 burger, or more, you're going to have a hard time catching those people. So I definitely would not do a complete fade on him. But like I said, there's different avenues to get there. Jared Dudley is starting for RHJ. Freaking YMCA Jared Dudley. What's that guy's price, man? $3,500. You're nuts. You're nuts. Don't play Jared Dudley. Unless you're doing a game stack. And even then, man, I can't stand watching that guy play. I struggle. All right, what else are we looking at here? What other questions you guys got? How much time we got? 10 minutes till lock? Almost there. Hopefully we don't get no crazy news where we have to swap like the other night when, the Pelicans decided to tell us, 2 minutes before the Pels game locked that AD wasn't going to play. So the Hornets starting lineup, they're going to start Graham. It's going to be Walker, Graham, Batum, Williams, and Hernan Gomez. So that makes me, again, like Monk on that second unit more. So back to that question between Graham and Monk, I prefer Monk with that second unit. Let's see if there's any other news here real quick. If you're not a DFS Army member, please take the time to come on over and join us. Hit the website button on the panel below. Go to DFS Army. Use CashKeg. Save 10%. We've been running breaking news in our VIP chat and breaking down usages and fantasy points a minute with guys out and really going in depth that can really help your lineup. So get on over there and join us. Thoughts on MKG? Like you said, I think any of those Charlotte guys are in play. I really do. I think MKG's interesting. He won't be. He's again 3,400. Seems like everyone at Charlotte's 3,400. He's definitely only GPP because he's so hit or miss. Batum's interesting too. I mean, I think the guy's about washed up almost, but he can get things going as well. So that whole team, you can just kind of mix and match, and that's why I think they're just one of those guys is going to go off. I mean, with Monk 3,600, MKG's 3,400, Graham's 3,400, Hernan Gomez 38. They're just all underpriced, and a couple of those guys are going to hit value. You just got to have the right ones. Thoughts on Ingram tonight? I don't really love Ingram. Outside of that game stack there, I just prefer a few other plays around his price point. I guess he's a little more palatable on DraftKings than he is on Fanduel. I think Fanduel is 6,800. Yeah, 6,800 on Fanduel. So I'm not a huge fan, but he's had some games. I just if he sees any part of Paul George, I don't like it, and I just don't know what they're gonna do because they can slide him easily down to the small forward, and then that's not good for him. Who blows the slate up tonight? Oh. If I knew, I have all the monies. It's one of those nights where you can build so many different lineups in so many different ways. like I said, I think Booker is going to get overlooked, so I like him in GPPs. But I would stick with the chalk that's in your face with Hernan Gomez and Carroll on DraftKings. Like I said, I prefer Monk over Graham, but with Graham starting, he's going to see more minutes, so I think he's more of a cash play, and then maybe Monk more GPP, or if you want to play them both at that price, it's not a crazy thing at all. But again, it's Embiid or Cat if you're playing Hernan Gomez. I'm slightly leaning more Embiid right now than Cat, but both of them are in play. Who blows up AD? Yeah, let's not go there, man. Too many bad memories with AD. Like, that just seems like every other week we got to deal with that nonsense. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Cat Country. I hope this helps. I hope these shows help. Trying out something new. Makes it easier for me to answer questions too, and kind of look things up while I'm talking, and we can kind of talk shop together. Maybe some people have some good plays in here they can drop, and somebody that I missed or not on, I can look up. So I really enjoy it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been fun. If you want to see me do more of these, let me know. Follow me, and that way you'll know when I come on. And if you have any ideas or any other shows or any videos you want me to record on if it's using the domination station, which has been fantastic, or different approaches to different slates, small slates to big slates, cash, whatever it is, just let me know. Yeah, well, I set my lines. There's some things that I probably would have changed, but I'll look what I got after lock, and if I can pivot a little bit, I will. But I'm pretty set with where I'm at. We can expect this every day, right? If I can find the time, I'm going to try to do it every day. I'm going to try to do at least one video a day. But I'm going to try to do these live at lock when I do have a chance. So if you guys like them, like I said, please follow and subscribe, and I'll keep trying to knock these out if they're beneficial to you. Let me just check news one more time. Make sure we don't have any nothing crazy. I don't see any other news. Looks like DJ Augustin's going to start with Fournier, Isaac, Gordon, and Vooch. So that's about what we expected. So I would nothing really else has changed. So you might want to get a few Randall lineups without AD, just in case AD wants to be AD. You never know. Tell those schmucks at my work you got to be around for lock. Yeah. I wish I could get to the point where I could do this full time, but maybe one day. Yeah, I don't think we have any great news, man. I think we're basically set. We got 2 minutes until lock, so if you're making any last minute changes, thoughts on Anthony Tolliver. Whew. Min salary, $3K. Boy, he'd be a GPP play for sure. But yeah, he'd be like a 2 to 5%er. Definitely wouldn't for $3K if you needed $3K to slide in your lineups and you think he's going to get some run behind Mukogi. I just don't know if they're going to give him that run. But yeah, he's interesting. Thoughts about Napier, huh? Oh no, Napier would be score 51. Don't expect 51 today against Brooklyn, against New Orleans. So I didn't talk about Napier. I mean, that's an outlier there. Like, don't expect that. But 3,700. Again, I prefer him to more of the game stacks. I don't mind throwing him in game stacks at 3,700. But if he sees any part of Drew Holiday, I don't really like that. But I think I would just stick to Dinwiddies and Russells, guys like that. All right, you better hurry up. Lock is almost here. We got 20 seconds until lock. Looks like I'm about about an 8-second delay. So, all right, it looks like we just locked. So, again, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. Look forward to doing these again. Enjoy. Good luck, everybody.